Horrible Harry moves up to third grade, chapters 4 and 5. Things get rocky. The next week, things got a lot rockier between Harry and Sydney. When we were getting off the bus, Harry said, "Hey, Sid, how would you like to see me eat rocks for breakfast?" "Huh?" Sydney peeked in the bag of rocks Harry was carrying. There was mica and pyrite and granite and quartz. "How'd you like to see me eat rocks?" Harry repeated. Sydney's eyes bulged. "I'd love to see you do that." "Well, it's going to cost you something," Harry said. "You can't have my milk money," Sydney warned. "I don't want your milk money," Harry replied. "I want something else." "What?" "To see if you can run around the playground 4 times and get to our room before the bell rings." "That's it?" Harry nodded. "I'll be standing by the window, counting to make sure you run each lap." Mary and Song Lee and Ida took a step back. "You're eating rocks for breakfast," they said. "If Sydney does his part of the bargain," Harry said. "You're looking at the road runner," Sydney said. "See you in the room when you eat rocks." And he took off. Harry and I dashed upstairs and peered out the classroom window. There was Sydney racing around the playground. Each time he ran a lap, Harry held up a finger. Every now and then, Sydney would look up to see if Harry was watching. When Harry held up 3 fingers, I looked at the clock. 5 minutes to go. Sydney was slowing down now. Finally, he finished the 4th lap. Just as he got in the room and plopped down in his seat, the bell rang. I made it," Sydney gasped. His hands were touching the floor. "Now it's time for your part of the bargain." Harry opened up his backpack and reached for a napkin. He tucked it inside his shirt. Song Lee and Mary looked worried when he set the bag of heavy rocks on his desk. "Here I go," he said. Then he reached into his backpack and pulled out a box of salt and shook some out on his tongue. Poor man's potato chips." Sydney sat up. "What are you doing? You're not eating rocks, you're eating salt." "That's what salt is, Sid. Rocks." Harry leaned back in his chair just enough so he wouldn't fall and sprinkled some more salt in his mouth. "Delicious." Sydney crossed his arms. "I ran myself ragged to see you eat salt?" "Yep," Harry said, licking his lips. Mary and Ida smiled. Song Lee giggled. "I just put 2 thumbs up. Sid had it coming for killing Harry's spider." I was actually enjoying 3rd grade until Miss Mackle made that dreaded announcement. Murder in the mine. Next morning, Miss Mackle said, "Boys and girls, we are going to the old Newgate prison in Coppermine, September 30th. When everyone cheered, I motioned to Harry to meet me at the pencil sharpener. I had to talk with him. Harry broke his pencil on the side of his desk and then joined me. "What's up?" he asked. "Remember how you were kind of scared to ride the elevator in the Drop of Doom?" Harry paused. He never liked admitting he was afraid of anything. "Yeah," he barely whispered. "Well, I never went down into that copper mine. I was afraid." It was hard for me to say it, too. Harry flashed his white teeth. "Hey, Doug, you can do it. If I could do the Doom ride, you can walk through a mine. Pretend you're a spider. They love cool, dark places." "Thanks, Harry," I groaned. After I sharpened my pencil, I added, "You'll stick close by?" "Like Elmer's glue," he whispered. September 30th came too soon. Song Lee and Ida and Mary sat in front of Harry and me on the bus. The girls played hangman. Their first word had 8 letters. Prisoner. Prisoner. I sure felt like one sitting next to Harry. I was trapped, and there was no getting out of it. Harry could tell I was getting nervous. My knees were shaking. He opened his backpack. Try not to think about it. Think about other things like... Then Harry pulled out something wrapped in aluminum foil. Remember this? I watched Harry unwrap it. Cindy's burnt wiener, I said. Shh. Harry put a finger to his mouth. He's sitting across the aisle. It's a secret. Old Sid doesn't know I have it. What are you going to do with it? I'm not sure. I might just keep it until it becomes a fossil. A wiener fossil? When I laughed, my knees stopped shaking. Sure, or it might come in handy sometime for something else. Harry, he was a piece of work. I sure was glad he was my partner. He made me forget about things when we were on the bus. An hour later, we got to the mine. We got off the bus and walked over to the little museum shop. It was fun to crunch through all the autumn leaves. The trees were red, orange, yellow, and brown. It was a beautiful sunny day, I kept telling myself. The inside of the museum was small. There were all kinds of books for sale, some rocks, and grand big copper coins. There were also soda and candy machines. But Miss Mackle stood in front of them like a football guard. Spend your money wisely, she said. Sidney made a long face. He had his coins ready. Man, that's no fair. I wanted to get a crunchy chocolate bar. As soon as I spotted the boys' room, I ducked inside. I always have to go when I get nervous. Later, when everyone had bags of souvenirs, a gray-haired man said, Welcome, boys and girls. Gather round. You are about to visit the first copper mine in the 13 colonies. It also was our first state prison. Back in the 1700s, prisoners worked in the mines. What crimes did they commit? Mary asked. She had her pencil and notebook and was taking notes. Most of them were horse thieves, counterfeiters, and burglars. What did the burglars steal? Sidney asked. Well, in 1780, 7 men broke into Captain Ebenezer Dayton's house and tied up his wife with a torn sheet. Where was Ebenezer? Mary snapped. He was out of town. Mary rolled her eyes. So what happened? Harry asked. Well, they kept her tied up in a chair for 2 hours while they ransacked the house. They took coats, cloaks, gowns, silk handkerchiefs, silver shoe buckles, a spyglass, 2 muskets, 4 halberds, and 450 pounds of gold, silver, and copper coins. What's a halberd? Mary asked. It's a long-handled axe. We followed the elderly man outside to a courtyard and brick wall. When he leaned over, he picked up some rocks. Just about everywhere you look, you can see copper rocks. If it has green on it, it's copper. Mary bent down and pointed at something green. This isn't copper, she said. It's someone's half-eaten lime lollipop. Gross, Ida said. There's a spider on it, too. Don't kill it, Harry said, looking at Sidney. Single file, please, the guide said. We're about to enter the mine. And I'll pick up tomorrow where I left off. See you guys later.